Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. Joe Robinette and Travis Charles join me in the studio for some silliness and some comedy promotions. Joe and Travis contemplate the next sexual misconduct perpetrator. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
Oh, in the
All right,
club?
we're back. That is a hard crawl. What's that?
You heard it in the club.
Oh,
working,
yeah, I was working
nice.
in the club, and it's twisted my back somehow in the the worst possible fashion. I went to my knees down on the bathroom floor.
That is not a place you want to be on your knees.
No, it's not. And I was alone, too.
That's a good thing.
We're back on the Life Radio Show, in case you couldn't tell by the stupidity that's already flowing through your ears, which is probably mostly in between them, because you're listening to me. So, I'm sitting in here. Travis Charles has made it into the studio along with Joe Robinette,
Yay.
two local comics, and that's all I got to say about
That's it.
Yep.
That is pretty
Thanks
much
for
it.
tuning
That is
in.
the most
Thanks for
positive
tuning
thing
in.
you can say.
See you next week. No. I've been asked before we get started. I've been asked to throw this out there, so I threw it out. No, I've been asked to. Apparently, there are free T-shirts available in the lower atrium if you tweet about the basketball game on Saturday. There will be more games and contests for students, such as free throw. Man, who wrote this? Free throw contest and minute to win it. Chances to get some free rapid fire pizza. The game is 3 p.m. On Saturday, men's basketball versus Kent State. So there it is. It's out there now.
I think they said they'd be there till 2 o'clock.
Yeah, what's that?
They're going to be out there till 2 o'clock giving the shirts away.
Oh, is that what they
Yeah.
said? Okay, well, there you go. They'll be out
Well
there till
done.
2 o'clock giving free shirts away. So if you're shirtless, quick, run this way. If you're shirtless and you run past the studio window, I will give you the shirt that I'm wearing. Then I will be shirtless, and I will tweet about the basketball game and go get my own free shirt.
They're
There
all
you
one
go.
size fits most.
The
Yes.
circle of life.
Yes, full of the life. So welcome to the show, guys. Both of you have been on before, and somehow I've agreed to have you back in. And
Yeah, I
you've
was
agreed to
wondering
come
about
back
that.
in.
Yeah.
Well, especially with Joe. Last time I told him I didn't want to see him again.
Yep.
Mistakes are made.
Yeah, mistakes were made. Well, Travis brought him in. I said, well, I guess.
That'd be one of those weird things like the Ben Affleck and Matt Damon thing. Like he just hates you, but I sneak you in everywhere we go.
Is that what you're doing?
No.
Well, I noticed Joe was your backup because you tried to get John in.
Yeah, he's working today.
So how's it feel?
Nice.
Yep, Joe's
Playing
just the
second
backup.
fiddle to a homeless guy.
Yep, you are. I'm not going to call you Joe Robinette anymore. You're now on your backup, John Morris.
Oh,
Joe's
You're
always
his
I wish I had the voice.
You're John Morris's understudy.
Yeah, dude.
see. I wanted John because John does have a voice, but Joe's always the guy that I go to any show or like to get on a show if I'm doing it. But I'm like, I don't start like asking a few other people every now and then. That's why I tried John and he couldn't make it. So Joe's still here.
All right. It's all right. It's all good. It's always good to see. Always good to see Joe. So I was talking about somebody I graduated high school with, and we actually went to the same high school. That was
All kinds of
a long
talent comes
time
out of that
ago.
school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. I'm not sure where it went, but
So much they tore it down.
Did they really?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, they did, and
Now the city has no school. They just tore it down.
yeah,
Just a bunch
like
of dumb kids.
Yep. From now on, it's just all a bunch of farm kids out there. They
Nice.
don't even, they don't even have a school up there in Milton anymore.
So
They
what
did tear it down, though, and that it just cracked me up how many people were on there talking about how sad they were
Oh,
that they were
yeah.
tearing down the
Yeah.
high school. It's like, are you kidding me?
They wanted to
Give
keep
me a
the building.
sledgehammer.
Yeah.
I wanted to tear it down when I was going there.
Maybe most kids just don't make it past middle school there, so they're like, why even have it?
Yeah, that's
And it was an
that's
old
true, that's true.
asbestos-filled building, and they
Yeah.
wanted to save it and do something else with it. And it's like, what do you want to do with it?
Yeah.
I don't think they hadn't thought that far into
Well,
it.
the old high school before that is now an old folks home.
Right, McKinley
Yeah,
Commons,
McKinley
I think
Commons.
it was. Yeah.
That's what you need, an asbestos-filled old folks home.
Yeah, well, they're on
they
their
already
way
got
out
one.
anyway.
They could at least upgraded to the other high school instead of tearing it down.
They become apartments.
Yeah, because that's what had happened is they needed that new high school built, back in the 80s because McKinley Commons, they said, well, we just can't house students. We can't have students in here anymore, so they gave it to the old folks.
See, that reminds me, in Virginia, I was doing cable work in this apartment building that used to be an old insane asylum back in the early 1900s in Richmond. And they didn't change any of the corridors or the door. All the doors have the room number still on them, like for like some weird aesthetics.
Yep, scratches on the inside.
So like when you're walking down the hallways, you're going in the basement. All you can imagine is like, what happened in that room? Like we used to go in that like back in like 1910. Like, some crazy stuff happened in that hospital. And the people who lived there didn't know what it was because they were all newly into Richmond and they're all like college kids and stuff. And I was like, yeah, imagine this room, probably the electroshock therapy room. They go, shut up, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
We had no idea.
Then they all just thought it was haunted after that. And it probably was.
It probably
had
is.
to have been. Yeah.
It's still creepy to walk through there.
Is it? Where is this at?
Richmond, Virginia.
I'll check it out sometime.
Most of Virginia's pretty creepy to
Yeah.
go
Well,
through,
yeah, that's
actually.
true. That's true.
I mean, the Civil War and all that stuff happened right
you don't
through
wanna
there. So
sit still very long there.
Yeah, you don't drop the soap either in Virginia.
anywhere,
Yeah, especially there.
and bus stops.
See, if I'd have thrown my back out and
Unless
gone
you're
down on
into
my knees in
soap
Virginia,
dropping.
Yep.
I'd have been in trouble.
Yeah, someone would have just fixed it right up for you.
Yeah. How's your back now, boy?
Doesn't hurt as bad.
Oh, anyway. So what do you guys got going on? What do you got going on lately, Travis? You got any shows coming up?
Yeah, Morris and I are driving 210 miles tomorrow to do a show. I think it's pronounced Catawba Island, going towards Cleveland.
Wow.
No, like near Toledo. Something weird. I don't know. It's some like resort town, Port Clinton or something.
Oh, okay. I know where Port Clinton is.
But it's like on a little tiny strip, and there's water.
Because there was actually, I was reading in the newspaper the other day, there was part of the road actually fell in. There was a sinkhole that kind of.
Watch out for
Are
that.
we gonna
part
be
of
able
the
to get
road
there
up
now?
there. Because it's Port Clinton is right up by Marblehead.
Okay.
And there's a road to Marblehead that actually collapsed. So, yeah, be careful up there.
Yeah. And it's supposed to. I think it's supposed to snow.
They heard you were coming. They rolled the roads up.
Get
They said, "Nope,
it
we're
out
not.
of here.
We can't have it."
And then on Saturday, Joe and I are going to some part of Indiana.
Yeah, where are we going? I just have Indy and question mark.
Parkersburg? No. Hartford
Yeah,
City. Hartford
So
City, Indiana.
It's good to know what shows you're going to.
Dude, if I didn't get tagged and stuff on Facebook, I wouldn't make half the shows I'm on. I'm like, I guess I got a show tomorrow, and like I'll just go to it, and there I am.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's me, Joe, and just a 3-man show in Indiana, I believe. I think Jim Jam's coming. They gave him 15 minutes, which...
Jim James?
Oh, James Market. We call him Jim Jam.
Jim James. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. See, I haven't been out that much, so I don't know all these cutesy little pet names you have for all your friends, Travis.
That's just the only one who's got a nickname,
There's
really.
Jim James, Joe John, or John Joe. Sorry, John.
Call you Don Juan.
Wouldn't be the first time that somebody's made that terrible mistake. Oh, so what you got going on, Joe?
All kinds of stuff.
Other than going to
Yeah, somewhere in Indiana
BF
Saturday,
Indiana.
provided I make it out of that.
Yeah.
Get the Nick Cage movie review tomorrow at Wiley's. I think they're reviewing Face Off.
Face Off. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
you're doing
podcast.
You're doing a set beforehand. Or
Right,
you're
I'm
part of
doing
the
a
show?
set, and Joe Young is on the podcast, and I guess
Okay.
Adrian Cosby's on the show also.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, big
'Cause
show.
Face Off is just that's like double terrible because you don't just have Nick Cage. You
yeah,
have
we
John
were just
Travolta,
talking about
too.
that. Travolta. I don't know that I've seen it though. I don't think I have.
You probably haven't missed anything.
Yeah,
It's John Travolta trying to be Nick Cage while Nick Cage is
Ooh.
trying to be John Travolta. So it's like a weird mathematical equation of terrible.
But
It's
it's
like a
not a
quadratic
comedy.
equation
No.
of really
Not
bad.
a comedy at all.
No. Well, it depends on how you look at it.
not an intentional comedy.
Right.
Spoiler alert, they exchange faces.
Yes. They become each other.
And voices, which is
Yeah.
weird. But
You think they debated between Voice Off and Face Off in the title? I mean,
yeah.
they really didn't work very hard
Yeah, Face
naming
Off
the movie.
voiceover.
face-off voiceover. Although, you know what? I got a feeling Travolta might be in trouble coming up.
Really?
Because that movie is there where he's John Gotti that's going to come out. They just halted releasing it. Like, they stopped it. And everyone's thinking that it's because something or someone in the movie is going to be getting alleged.
More groping.
More groping and,
Yeah.
you know. Taking,
Well, yeah, I could see that being Travolta. You know,
Yeah,
probably
I told him right
grope
earlier.
some young boys or something.
like, I always thought John Travolta, whenever I heard anything in Hollywood having to do with that stuff, I was like, John Travolta seems like the kind of guy that would do that. I don't know why. I don't know why, but
Makes perfect sense.
yeah. But yeah, so hopefully that's not the case because the movie previews actually looked good for a John Travolta
I
movie.
don't know. I really can't buy him as Gotti.
He didn't. It looked all right in the previews.
Yeah, I've had trouble buying Travolta as a tough guy ever since he
Yeah.
started making kind of tough guy.
Yeah,
movies.
Pulp
What was
Fiction
it?
was the beginning and the end of that for me.
Yeah. Pulp. Yeah, he wasn't bad in Pulp Fiction, but he
Right.
I didn't see him as the tough guy in it. He was with Samuel L. Jackson, who I saw as the
Yeah,
He
yeah,
played in that movie Michael, where he was an angel, right?
yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
prior to Pulp Fiction or after?
No, that was after. Pulp Fiction kind of kickstarted him again.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like Look Who's Talking 4 was probably the best thing he had going
Oh.
before Pulp Fiction.
Isn't it amazing how much you wind up knowing about a person once you start talking about them?
Yeah.
Like, you know, what movies and
Yeah, it's
he owns
sometimes
like
terrible.
3 airplanes,
Yeah.
3 or 4 airplanes.
yeah, dude, he's a pilot. That's right.
Yeah.
Flying all the kids in.
You know?
Yeah, maybe he crashed his plane. That's why they halted the release of that.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But that's what I've seen. That's what I've seen on the internet so far. Is like, is John Travolta the next one? I'm like, it's like American
Actually,
Idol.
I
Like-
called Charlie Rose about 2 or 3 days before it came out. I just happened to say to my wife, it's like, you know, Charlie's done some stuff. 'Cause he gets googly eyed and starts blushing on air when one of the girls say something to him. He just seemed like a creepy guy. And 2 days later, it comes out after I say it.
Good job, you called it. Who's next? Because there's so many.
I'm
to choose
honestly-
Probably
from.
Paul McCartney, I think.
I really think like Pat Sajak or like Alex Trebek for some reason. Like,
Alex.
Yeah,
I
I
can
could
see
see-
Alex.
because I did a
Trebek.
joke about Alex Trebek, and I'm like, you know what? I could totally see him being like that weird dude because like that's the only thing he's ever done is that show. So his rest of his life is pretty much private. You don't know a whole lot about Alex Trebek.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, Joe does. He's where the charges are going to originate from.
Yep.
Yeah.
1987.
Yep, Alex Trebek. I could see that. I keep waiting for Dr. Phil.
That would be
he's
the
gotta
best.
get busted for something.
Him and
I can't
Oprah have like
stand
a
Nobody
weird
likes
like child
Dr.
sex
Phil.
ring together. They just both come down.
it. Yeah,
not to tell nobody.
you gonna take me
Let's
down,
do it.
Oprah? I'll take you down with me.
And then all of a sudden, Phil Donahue's like, he's the ringleader.
That's a name I haven't heard in forever.
No one who's listening to this is like, who's Phil Donahue?
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
The original.
and that's going to just open up this vacuum for some kind
Now,
of
if Jerry
daytime
Springer
talk
doesn't get in
show,
trouble for
and
nothing-
Springer's coming back in.
I think Springer's got to have done something.
Oh, Springer's already been busted for some stuff. But
Really?
That was a long time
But he
ago.
did it
Yeah,
the way you're
he-
supposed to. He went to a prostitute
Yeah,
and
he-
wrote
yeah,
a
he
check
went to a
and
prostitute,
didn't do
wrote a check.
anything weird.
That was when he was
Nice.
mayor of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
He did it. No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah, late
Yeah.
70s, early 80s.
Well, where there's
Yeah.
smoke.
That was before his show. He was mayor of Cincinnati at the time, and he
Didn't hurt his career one. It helped his.
no, it did not. Yeah,
And nowadays, that's like not a big deal. That's like, well, all right.
yeah.
At least they were
Yeah.
both consenting.
I mean, as
Yeah,
long as,
exactly.
as long as the check didn't bounce, I don't see what the problem with the
Yeah.
story is.
Yeah, that's probably how he got busted. The check bounced, and she came back.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be not funny? I guess it would be funny if like Corey Feldman has kids come up after him, since he's the one who kind of started this whole process again.
That's one thing about the Corey Feldman situation. I read the other day. It's been a while back that he actually his case is because he had the one case he kept
Right.
coming up, and I heard that was dismissed because of a statute of limitations.
Mhm.
And that's the only time I've heard that in any of these. Because I mean, there's people after Bill Cosby from 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Where's the statute of limitations there? They have they they claim to have one in the Corey Feldman case. I think it's just because they don't want to spend that much time investigating him. They don't want to spend time around him.
Yeah,
I
he
have no doubt that
he keeps
though,
giving us albums, so we don't want that crap.
yeah. And if Corey Feldman could have a career again, I have no doubt that he would let Charlie Sheen have sex with him again.
again.
Yeah.
I feel like some of it with him is like he wants to be in the spotlight. Like he says all these big people in Hollywood, all these secrets about
Major
him, but
players.
yeah, you
Yeah.
got to wait till I do my special or write my book to find out who they are. And it's like,
Oh, it's a sales tactic.
There you go. Yeah. Keeping us all on the edge of our seats, Corey. People care about you.
Follow
You
me
are
on Twitter,
relevant
and I will
again.
release
Look-
the names at 3 p.m.
That's terrible. Anyway.
I love it.
so yeah, I got the Nick Cage thing going on tomorrow.
Yeah, that's Nick. Nothing's come out about Nick Cage doing these things. That's. Are we surprised by that, or just
No,
don't
he
care?
probably masturbates in front of a mirror. I don't see him projecting it onto other people. Like,
Did you say ejecting?
Would he have a
pun
went
intended.
to a blow up doll company, had one made in his likeness?
yeah. Like he has a Nick Cage tattoo on
He's
his
got one from
thigh.
every character he's ever played in his house. Like he's like, come on, Ty. Raised in Arizona.
Yeah, I could see that. Like a closet full of them.
He can only get off the Francis Ford Coppola movies.
All right. Should we do a news
So that-
story? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. How much further down this rabbit hole can we go?
I'm just proud of myself for keeping it clean.
Yeah. Good job. Good job. Yeah. I'm surprised nothing's come out about you, actually. But
You know what?
if you were famous, if somebody knew who you were,
It wouldn't be nothing like creepy. I don't know what would come out
I
of
feel like
everything.
I've been way too tame over the years. Like I could have gotten away with a lot
Yeah,
more before
exactly.
now.
It would
Absolutely.
have furthered your career.
Well,
I mean, yeah, probably.
something.
You need to at least be on the news.
or
Yeah.
a couple more notches in something.
Nachos.
Notches.
Nachos.
Dawn's hungry.
I ain't ate today. Normally, it's the kids who freak out at the sight of Santa Claus, but last week it was an adult who had a tantrum. Pastor David Grisham, a self-described Christian evangelist, taunted children and their parents who were waiting for a meeting with Kris Kringle at the Santa Claus house in North Pole, Alaska. Grisham announced, I wanted to tell you kids today that Santa Claus doesn't exist. Santa Claus is not real. The man you're going to meet today is wearing a suit like a costume, and it's make-believe.
That's
It's not
awesome.
real. So Pastor Grisham ruined Christmas for all the
Yeah.
kids of North Pole, Alaska, which if you live in a place called North Pole, Alaska, and you don't believe in Santa Claus, you're
Yeah.
wrong right off the bat.
Yeah.
One of the smarter kids did pipe up and tell him neither is Jesus.
Yeah.
So he kind of got him back a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I think as a parent, I'd probably just start beating that dude in public.
yeah.
Just let loose on him. You know,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
what I
his
was
job to
kinda
ruin all
thinking.
those.
Where were the parents at?
Yeah. I know, like,
It's a weird thing, tradition to do, though. I mean, we said we weren't going to do it with my daughter because, like, my son was crushed when we told him the truth. Can we talk about that on the radio, or we would get attacked for talking about the claws?
It's
the clause clause.
I guess
I mean-
we can.
Tim Allen's a real guy.
You know, 'cause I remember when we told my son about it, and I just figured he assumed when I told him about Santa Claus, like the Easter Bunny and Tooth Fairy would like fall in line. And I'm like, did you really think a rabbit like the Easter Bunny could visit all these children? And he looks at us and he's like, what about the Easter Bunny? And it's like, oh man, I got to tell him on each character.
You destroyed it all.
Yeah,
And he was 16.
yeah.
Well, see, like, as a kid, I remember just finding out. Like, my parents never told me.
Yeah.
I just kind of, oh, that's how it works. But I still kept my mouth shut because I wanted stuff. Like,
You wanted to pretend.
my
that you
parents did
still
the whole
believed
thing.
it.
Once you
Here's the
stop
thing,
believing, you
though.
stop receiving stuff.
When you let the kids believe Santa's getting all this crap, then you don't get any credit for buying it.
See, my parents
Yeah.
did it two ways. My parents would buy a ton of presents and wrap them.
Right.
Santa would leave things that
Oh,
were
yeah.
unwrapped.
Yeah.
So they got
Oh,
to joke.
Santa didn't bring wrapped presents?
No, it was like all these, we wake up and all these
Lazy
toys laying
Santa.
around.
Yeah, we did the same
Oh,
thing,
no,
but
the
Santa
elves,
at least.
the elves were lazy.
Yeah, he
The elves
doesn't
should
have
have been
time to
doing
do
the
the
wrapping.
wrapping. He's
I know, like
doing
my-
the delivering.
You know, my wife, I can still call her my wife, I guess.
You can call her whatever you want, just as long as we can broadcast.
Her family doesn't put anything under the tree prior to Christmas Eve, and then Christmas morning, then everything's just there. Like when I grew up, we had presents under the tree for like
Yeah.
2 weeks prior to Christmas.
Yeah.
And then on Christmas Eve, it was a whole nother pile of crap on
Yeah.
top of that.
I'm very good at taking tape off wrapping paper. It's just a little bit of patience and desire.
Razor
and-
blade. Razor blade works. You know, one of those little straight razors. You can get that tape right off of there.
Yep.
I've heard.
So I like the idea of Santa because like my kids get excited and you can use it as a tool to, hey,
Yeah, that's true.
go do something or else Santa's not going to
Yeah.
bring you any gifts. And they, what? And they freak out.
Oh, that's the threat you made?
Yeah.
I always thought it was Santa's going to come kick my.
Yeah. Santa's going to take
Santa's
you
gonna- yep,
and
Santa-
make you into a new elf.
Yep.
Although some
Yeah,
kids
where
might,
do you think those elves come from?
they might like that idea in one of those.
All they
Right.
are,
Yeah.
all they
Yeah.
are kids that say, and he beats you relentlessly.
But here's the thing with Santa, you said in Jesus, like Santa has
This
done
is
more.
always a good statement.
Santa
when it
has
starts
done
off with,
more
"Here's
for
the
me
thing
in my
with Santa
life."
and Jesus.
That's my favorite cop show too from the 80s.
Like I want to do a whole joke about how Santa Claus has given me more in my lifetime than Jesus ever has. Like, you know, I can tell you what Santa has given me. I can't tell you anything Jesus has given me. You know, I don't know if that's people right now are writing complaints to the radio station.
yeah, probably
Yeah.
not, yeah.
Yeah.
we lost another
Yeah.
listener. Thanks a lot,
Yeah.
Travis. The GM of the studio station just walked by, and man, he's eyeing me.
These are not Don's beliefs.
Mostly because he just found out listening to the show that Santa isn't
Santa's
real.
not real. You can't tell me Tooth Fairy ain't real, man. I've been getting 50-cent pieces for years.
50 cents. That's all your teeth are worth.
My days
You're
are like
getting-
five.
you're getting ripped
I used to get
off.
$5 bills.
You used to get $5 bills.
Yep,
If I got $5 bills for a tooth as a kid, I'd knock them out myself.
dude. Yeah,
I'd knock other kids' teeth out and tell them they were mine.
then he would give us a bunch of the Ike dollars, the big Ike dollars. So you wake up one, you have like 5 to 10 Ike dollars under your pillow.
Wow.
Yep. But now I
Man,
can't
your
afford to do
tooth,
that.
your tooth fairy had more money than mine.
Which can only be
apparently.
spent at IKEA's.
They stopped making those in the 70s.
All right, we got one more news story, and then we're going to have to take a break. So let me cue up a song before we start the next news story, which I guess I'll be playing some Potter.
You're doing an intro song for the news story?
That's what I should do. I should start doing an intro song to the news story, just for this one time. But I didn't prepare ahead of time, Joe. I'm sorry. You seem very
You
disappointed.
just always play Santa McLaughlin's
Yeah,
Eyes of
all
an
the
Angel.
excitement you had for being here, all the
Is
just
gone.
energy is just
I want to see Joe.
because you were so energetic before. You were bouncing.
I was.
around. Yeah.
I want to see Joe full of caffeine.
This is Joe
It's
full
about
of
the
caffeine.
same. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. The host Buffalo Bills didn't come back from a 23-3 loss against the New England Patriots on Sunday, but a dildo did. A little more than a year after a fan threw a dildo onto the field in the Bills' home game against the Patriots, an object that appeared to be another sex toy landed on the gridiron. A sideline crew member eventually swept it away with a down marker. Last year, Patriots quarterback Tom Brady actually commented on the flying phallus, because apparently this is a continual thing at Bills Patriots games. Tom Brady actually commented, "I thought it was funny the ref didn't want to pick it up. He was kicking it. Nobody wanted to reach down and grab it. That was very unusual," said Tom Brady. "This was a first," he said, "only in Buffalo." Well, apparently only in Buffalo again, Tom. Tom Brady was not the only dildo on the field on Sunday.
And apparently has no problem picking them up without
Well, yeah, he
Any
was,
knowledge
he was
of their
surprised.
history.
Yeah, he
Surprised
was
that no one else
nobody
wanted
wanted
to.
reach down and grab it.
You guys don't want it?
Yeah, well,
Like-
I'll take it then.
Another one for me.
And again, he probably paints, puts his picture on there.
He puts one of those little football helmets out of a gumball machine on the tip of it. In like 12 more years, I have a full set.
Yeah. The entire Patriots team right there. Bunch of dildos.
I can beat this one.
Oh, that isn't even right. It's funny as hell, but it isn't even right.
You brought it up.
Yeah.
Where do you find this crap?
I had just long hours of searching.
No,
on
I'm just like talking like football game.
yep, dildo.
Dildos. What a surprise!
And there it is, Tom Brady. Who
That just
figured?
proves you can Google anything and it will exist.
Yep, Google makes it real. That's what.
Yeah. That should be their logo.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. I think that's their logo. Google makes it real. If you can Google it, it's there.
Yep.
That's how I found out Santa wasn't real.
Let's Google Santa dildo.
Way ahead of you. All right. On that note, here's a little Potter's Field. We'll be back in a few minutes. Here's this week's Comedy Rundown, brought to you by the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's historic Oregon District. Call 224-JOKE or go to wileyscomedy.com for all the best in Dayton comedy. Tuesday, December 12th, Cat's Lounge Comedy presents the champ Scotty Mays at Cat's Lounge at 1221 East Stroop Road in Kettering. Thursday through Sunday, December 14th through the 17th, Steve Wilson is going to be at the Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. Friday through Saturday, December 15th through the 16th, Patty G's Reindeer Games with Pat Godwin at Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in the Oregon District. Saturday, December 16th, Rascals Comedy Night at the Spirited Goat at 118 Dayton Street in Yellow Springs. And Sunday, December 10th, Comics Hang and Workshop at Wiley's Comedy Club at 5 p.m., followed by Wiley's Sunday Comics at 8 p.m. That is it. As always, check out wileyscomedy.com and DaytonFunnyBone.com for details and tickets to upcoming shows.
The weekdays are made for working, but the weekends, those are made for gaming. Join Ellison Smith every Saturday for a new episode of Saltwater Gaming as he breaks down video games of all different genres, consoles, platforms, and eras. Get a bit of the old and a bit of the new, a bit of the action and a bit of the mystery. Get it all every Saturday on Saltwater Gaming, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
All right, we are back on the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in with Travis Charles and Joe Robinette, or backup John Morris.
I don't like that.
No, I don't blame you.
I want to go with something different. Nothing against John.
Okay.
There can only be one John, though.
That's true. That's true.
I don't have
there is no substitute.
He don't have that raspy. I've been smoking for
Right.
50 years at 30 years old.
Right.
What are you guys doing over there?
And I don't do Molly, so.
Oh, well, I noticed there was a difference.
I think that's what the kids call it.
Now, did you say before you went off on the John Travolta tangent, did you say you had some shows coming up that you wanted to plug?
Yeah, I've got more. I mentioned the Nick Cage movie review or podcast tomorrow, and then Friday at Wiley's, I'm there with Nate Washington and Jesse Nutt. And who else? Mike Wells and Carlin Haggerty, I think's hosting.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think Saturday we're off to somewhere in Indy.
Somewhere in Indy. That's that's
The actual name of it.
that's.
And what do we got?
You are somewhere in Indy.
Saturday the 16th, I think we're both at Yellow.
Oh, we're doing
Spirited Goat.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
Spirited
okay.
Goat in Yellow Springs,
forgot
or the
about that
Yellow
one.
Goat in Spirited Springs.
Yeah, either way. If they're in
Yeah.
Yellow Springs, it's probably
It's
either
the
way
same
to them.
place.
Yeah, unless Dave Chappelle's walking his tiger that day, and then everything's closed.
Yeah. I didn't know he walked his tiger through Yellow Springs.
I just
I
assumed
didn't. I
he
didn't know
does.
they closed anything for that. I assumed they, just brought more people in. Tiger got to eat.
Tiger's
That's
got to
what-
eat.
All right. Well, like I said, we'll keep going with the news story since we just had one about a dildo on a football field. Here's a statue of Jesus Christ on display at a cathedral in Spain has been hiding a secret message for hundreds of years in the most unlikely place. It was tucked away in a hidden compartment in the statue's rear end. So yeah, there's. Although it is usual for many sculptures to be hollow, it's not so much usual to find handwritten documents inside, according to historian Efron Arroyo, a member of the Holy Week Brotherhood and of Sotoyo de la Ribera. The statue, called Cristo de la Miserere, something like that. Cristo. Had been removed from the church in northern Spain for restoration when workers noticed a hidden compartment beneath a cloth that covered the statue's butt. Inside the statue was a letter penned in 1777 by Joaquin Minguez, who was a chaplain at the Cathedral of Burgo de Usma. Minguez's letter discussed the statue and others created by the same sculptor and detailed what life was like in the community 240 years ago. So a 240-year-old message in Jesus's butt.
Like the guy who found it, like
One day someone will check Jesus's butt.
Yes. What was the thought process that led
like
him
during
to
the
look
restoration,
there?
like I want the butt.
Yep.
Like
Lift up the cloth. Lift up
Yeah.
that cloth.
like I want to see a picture of the statue. Say like, was there like a hinge? Or did
That's
it
kind of
look like
you
something
push
was
on a
right,
cheek
right.
and a little part opens,
Yeah.
but I think it might have been in a crevice.
Yeah. It was.
think
It was
like
it was
wedged,
rolled up.
just
Yeah.
rolled up and wedged in there. Yeah.
What is that? He's got toilet paper stuck in
Yeah.
there.
I don't know. Pull on it. See if you can get it out of there. That's what I would have thought.
Message.
It's fascinating though. Fascinating.
Yeah.
And how
Apparently
detailed
not-
was
yeah.
the statue?
Yeah, that would be.
Because normally he has a robe on in his statue. He's
Right,
like, not just
you
naked.
could just Barbie doll
Yeah.
him
Well,
from
it said
the.
it was a piece of cloth, so been like a loincloth, I guess. It was like barbarian Jesus at the time,
Conan.
Conan,
Yeah.
Conan the Savior. Oh,
It'd be better like the
man.
message was like in his hand, or like in his mouth, like he spoke it. Nope, it's in his butt.
Yeah.
Like
Nobody will ever look there.
one of the artists had the idea, like one day they'll find this and it'll be hilarious.
Yeah.
Or he's just like, just shoved it in. And
Was the message from the sculptor, or was it just from somebody
It did not say if he was the sculptor or not. It said he was
Just-
Joaquin Minguez. It said he was a chaplain. Didn't say he was a sculptor. He said that he discussed the statue in the paper. He discussed the statue where the paper was.
I have had a
inserted.
long relationship
Yes.
with this
Yeah.
statue.
Apparently, and he discussed the sculptor
Yeah.
and other statues created by the same sculptor.
So if
but
they
it didn't
dig a
say
little
if it was
deeper, they
him.
might be able to clone Walenya Minguez or whatever
They
his
should
name
find
was.
the rest of those statues and see what other messages are hiding.
Exactly, because apparently that's a big thing with
It's like
that,
a
with
National
that
Treasure
particular-
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's that. Well, that was another one of Cage's. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? yeah, the National Treasure.
But that'd be a-
I think, this is like National Treasure 4.
Plot twist.
Yep.
Message in a butthole, everybody.
Yep, that's going to be the subtitle for it. It's going to be National Treasure 4, Message in a Bottle.
That's it.
They'll redo the police song.
The stuff like that comes out into the world.
And that's so it's
Message in a butthole.
oh, yep, that was
Crappy penmanship.
yep. What's this written in?
Yeah. Sanskrit.
Okay, the Texas prison system. Hey, right to
All right. Suitcasing.
the Texas prison system has a head-scratching list of banned and permitted reading material for the 150,000 inmates. That apparently bans Alice Walker's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, The Color Purple, but allows several books extolling principles of the Ku Klux Klan. A Shakespeare, a collection of Shakespeare sonnets because it contains nude images. A sonnet? Okay, I thought that was just words. This is a really weird article. Monty Python's The Big Red Book is banned. Where's Waldo is banned. The economic theory book Freakonomics apparently may cause offender disruption, so it's banned, and 10,000 other books that aren't allowed. However, out of 250,000 titles that are permitted by the prison system is Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf and 2 books written by former Grand Wizard David Duke.
Nice.
So, yeah, those are perfectly acceptable in this Texas prison system, but not Shakespeare. We can't have that. The logic can be confusing. Some books are banned by the Texas Department of Criminal Justice because officials fear heavy-duty bindings could be used to hide contraband. Contents that describe how to make drugs, guns, or explosives, or how to escape detection for criminal activity are also a no-go. Nudity and sexual images are also banned, which makes graphic novels like The Walking Dead prohibited. Which I didn't know there's a whole lot of nudity in The Walking Dead. I didn't want to see a lot of naked zombies. Don't really, have things hanging down that shouldn't be hanging down there. Atlases are also banned because they could be used to plan an escape. So that is the list. That is the list of some of the banned books from. I think more shocking than the banned ones are some of the allowed ones.
Yeah. Mein
That is
Kampf's a
Texas.
pretty big book.
What's that?
Mein Kampf's a pretty big book, I would think.
I don't have that much experience with it.
You got some stomach. Can I get Mein Kampf? Some David Duke.
Yeah. And where's Waldo? No,
Yeah.
where's Waldo? Oh, man.
No, Waldo. He just looking around the jail cell for a guy in red stripes. Like, there he is.
Yep, found him. Shanked him.
So what are you trying to learn with these books? Trying to learn how to round up people.
Yeah.
That's
Yep, that's not good.
like, that seems so stupid. Like, those groups are still in jail.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Nazis and, like, KKK members. So, like, you can give them their reading material. Like, here you go, guys. Here's your Bibles, basically.
Yeah.
But you can't seek and find a cartoon
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'd like to know the reasoning behind Waldo.
Apparently, the book contains stickers, and they
take the
didn't want-
stickers out.
Yeah.
That would be my thought. It's like but
You guys can't have coloring books.
Yeah.
yep, no coloring books, no stickers, no
Just
gold star for you today,
Maybe just-
Pedro.
Don't go to prison if you want to find Waldo.
Exactly, you're not going to find him
Just-
there.
Yeah, in Texas anyway.
Yep. So we know Waldo is not in the Texas prison system. That's a start. We'll try to find him later on. When a South Carolina man got hit with a strong craving for Waffle House at 3 a.m. on Thursday, he wasn't going to let anything stop him, including an employee he says was asleep when he got there. Likely story. Alex Bowen told WIS-TV that he walked over to the West Columbia restaurant because he couldn't sleep. After seeing no other workers on the premises and apparently not wanting to disturb the napping person, Bowen decided to take matters into his own hands. He headed back to the kitchen and whipped up a late-night snack for himself, documenting his culinary adventure in a Facebook post that's since gone viral. So he's cooking for himself, drunk at Waffle House at 3 a.m. How do I know he was drunk? Nobody goes to Waffle House at 3 a.m. sober, unless they're the designated driver.
I have.
I have.
Sober?
Yeah.
Sober?
Yeah, I don't drink much, but I get hungry all the time. So, yeah. If it's Waffle House or Steak and Shake.
Me and my wife woke up the kids one morning at like 2 a.m. We're like, we're going to Waffle House. Neither one of us drink or do drugs. We were just hungry for Waffle House. And there was one like right up the street from our house.
At 2 a.m.
So we get the kids up out of bed and go to Waffle House and get them waffles. And
This wasn't on a school night, was it?
no, they weren't in school yet.
Okay.
Yeah. One was
That's
a baby.
acceptable then.
One was a baby. The other
The
one
other
was
one
like
was
3.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's done with school at 16.
But I wonder what he would have done if like other like customers would have came in the door. Would he just kept cooking?
I guess he'd have just gone ahead and cooked for them, too.
Yeah, it's like a crappier version of Catch Me If You Can. It's like this man assumed a job at Waffle House for 5 years without anyone noticing.
He never got paid.
Yeah.
He just kept cooking.
Just kept coming in.
The other guy just never woke up either. He just slept the whole
Yeah,
time.
he wasn't really sleeping.
Just dead. Someone
But he
killed
was
him.
dead. So
This guy was napping in a pool of ketchup. I don't. It's weird.
I thought it was a strange place to take a nap, but apparently he likes the smell of ketchup when he wakes
But
up.
like, were there no other employees there? Waffle House usually have at least 3.
Yeah.
I would think, yeah.
So one dude sleeping, the other 2 outside smoking.
Yeah, that's probably what
Long
happened.
enough for the guy to cook and probably eat his food.
Yeah.
Did he
Yeah.
pay
Well, it
for
depends on what they were smoking.
Around here, I mean, we have fancy Waffle House with
Fancy.
3 people working. Where was this story at?
it? South
This,
Carolina?
yeah, this was
Oh,
this
South
was
Carolina, yeah.
So, yeah, I could see a one-man. You
Right.
don't need a lot of people to man Waffle House in West Columbia, South Carolina, apparently. It's a one-man show down at their Waffle House at 3 a.m.
That's funny.
Okay, where are we at? It's a product that could steal the heart of any cheesehead. Wine and beer glasses made out of cheese. But
That's
the price,
gross.
$5,000 for a set. The bank-busting drinking receptacles are being offered as a promotion by Finlandia Cheese in honor of Finland's 100th anniversary as an independent nation on December 6th. The beer mug is made from Gruyere cheese and holds 16 ounces of beverage. The company recommends stout, bock, or wheat beer, none of which you will be able to afford after dropping $5,000 on a beer glass. The wine glass is an 8-ounce stemless sculpted from Gouda that goes best apparently with red wines like Merlot.
Do you eat the cup later?
I would imagine. Why not? It would
$5,000, I don't know.
Or do you just keep pouring like different wines in there until like the cup just erodes?
Yeah, I would think it'd be a one-time use thing. You know,
That cheese isn't
you'd
even that
you'd
expensive.
stain your Gouda,
Like you could probably go buy enough
Yeah.
Gouda and make a cup
right? Yeah.
Right.
from Meyer. Like just get on a potter's wheel with some cheese.
Yeah, it'd have to be really well sculpted.
Yeah.
Potter's
It's probably
wheel with
not.
cheese.
We should
That's
look up
something-
pictures. It probably looks terrible.
Yeah.
It's some
all
like
falling
kindergarten
over.
like clay
Yeah.
clay sculpture.
It's a good thing they didn't make it out of Swiss. It just everything would run right out. That'd be stupid.
The other cheese I don't know what that one tastes like with the first one with the beer. mug.
Gruyere
Yeah.
probably tastes like cheese.
Probably tastes horrible like a
Where
foot.
was this at?
Yeah.
Norway?
Finland,
Finland.
It's probably bitter.
close. Yeah. What's that?
It's probably bitter.
Probably bitter.
Let me tell you what kind of beer you should put in it, which means they go, ugh, this beer's not good in this
Yeah.
cup.
Yep, you should put something else in there because this doesn't work. Oh, let's see. We're homeowner in Sacramento County, California, is down in the dumps after an Amazon delivery contractor left a pile of feces in front of his house. Nemi Bautista wasn't home on Tuesday when the driver pooped in front of his house. He saw the excrement evidence when he came home, and then checked his surveillance cameras and noticed the driver squatting in the passenger side of his truck.
I didn't order this crap.
So-
What is this?
Yep. What was it? Amazon? Yeah, Amazon. They deliver some crap.
Yeah, they do.
That's what you ordered.
Just dropped it in the driveway like all the other packages.
And the bad thing is the homeowner was sitting there trying to remember what he ordered when he was drunk the other night. He may have. Can't say for sure.
It's another reason.
You ordered a wine glass made out of cheese.
Yeah, he ate it on the way there. That's what you get.
It's another reason for the delivery, because Amazon wants their delivery people to possibly have keys to your house now.
So
they can
that's a great
so they
idea.
can put
leave
the
their
bigger
packages.
packages.
Yeah,
Oh,
leave
yeah.
their packages inside the house.
Well, yeah, he'd have been able to go to the restroom.
It'd have been better if the drone would have delivered the
Presumably,
crap.
he would have gone to the restroom. Maybe he'd have left it on the stairs.
Drone
The
delivered
drone.
the crap.
He's in the
Yeah.
back, but he shits in the drone. I didn't mean to
Poof.
cuss. And then
I didn't hear nothing.
he flies the drone to the
Well,
guy's driveway.
we're talking about delivery drivers, so he ships.
Yeah, he ships, yeah.
He ships on the
Ships.
drone, and the drone delivers the shipment on the
Yeah.
sidewalk. Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
it's all a bunch of shipping.
It took
talk.
almost an hour. I did good.
I'm impressed. I really am.
Yeah, when you got to go, you got to go.
That's exactly. If
We used to
you're-
go in 5-gallon buckets in the back of our
Oh
work
my
van.
gosh.
We would
No,
line
I
up with.
did similar work, and we would either use the customer's restroom or
Well, no, we would be
leave.
like in an alley working on a telephone pole, have our ladders out, cones
Yeah.
out, and all of a sudden you're on a pole and like, oh
one of
no,
those Pepto moments.
it's going to take 20 minutes to put everything in the van and then another 10 to
I
get.
have
so you just
7 at
so you
best.
just have somebody hold
Yeah.
a bucket underneath you while you're still
No, you
up
come
on the
down
pole.
and you would take like a Walmart bag and put it in your bucket, and then
You
would
do a liner first.
yeah, you line it.
You learn
yeah.
that after the first
Then
one.
Well, yeah, he's not an animal.
Yeah,
you know?
and then since all construction workers or like servicemen have like a pile of napkins in their vans because all we eat is fast
Sure.
food, you just grab a pile of McDonald's napkins, go in the back, do your thing, and tie the bag off, and find a trash can in an alley to leave it in.
Right. If you can't find somebody's lawn.
Saved my pants that day.
Huh. Huh.
Yep, the things you don't know about utility workers.
Oh, dude, if you see a utility worker standing with the doors shut close to his sides, like he don't have them wide open, he's just standing with the doors. He's probably taking a pee in a bottle.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, I've had to do that quite a few
Yeah,
times.
Gatorade bottles are the best. They have a bigger mouth opening,
Yeah.
and they can
We're-
hold like
this
32
is,
ounces.
This is an educational program.
All you
today.
kids out there wanting to become a construction worker.
Oh wow. Let's see. What do we what do we got next? An Australian TV host came within inches of serious injury or worse when a science experiment went badly wrong during a live segment. Science teacher / YouTuber Jake Strickling, which you could substitute for Mike
I was gonna say,
Canistero.
this is
Probably.
Australia's Canistero.
He was a guest on the show Studio 10 earlier this week, where he mixed liquid nitrogen in cola bottles, causing them to blast off like miniature rockets when he turned them upside down. One of the show's hosts, Natasha Belling, held the bottle that Strickling as Strickling filled it. However, she seemed uncertain how to hold it. She said, "I've done it twice. You should have been watching." And Belling replied that I wasn't watching. That's when the segment almost took a tragic turn. The bottle turned and turned the bottle to its side, and instead of upside down, it shot right in her face.
Oh.
So yes, it just
But see, without stuff like that, you don't get good YouTube videos.
Isn't
Exactly,
liquid nitrogen
exactly.
the stuff that stopped the T2 and
Yeah.
Terminator 2?
It'll
Like-
freeze anything
Yeah,
it
yeah.
touches. Like,
right, yeah. For the
Yep,
most
she
part.
almost got a face full.
Hmm.
So, Mike, be careful when you're doing your live Science with Mike segments. Don't let somebody blow their face off with a bottle full of liquid nitrogen.
Or do. Just make
Or
sure you
do,
get it
yeah,
on
just get it
camera.
on camera.
Always be recording.
which is weird. Why doesn't it freeze plastic?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
You would think it would.
Like when people have acid that eats through anything, the
was a-
acid comes out of a container
Yeah.
that it is not
It
eating.
was a bottle made out of Gouda cheese. And
No,
liquid
that was Gruyere.
nitrogen
That
does
was
not
Gruyere.
eat through Gouda cheese.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yep.
knows.
Yep, liquid nitrogen could not freeze the Gruyere because that is an unfreezable cheese. Oh, okay. One more news story, and then we're going to go have a good cry. It's news that may be hard to hear, or sorry, hard to bear. But the abominable snowman may just be a big Asian bear. Charlotte Lindqvist, a biologist specializing in bears, has analyzed DNA specimens purportedly from Yetis found in the Himalayan mountains for a new paper published in the British Science Journal Proceedings of the Royal Society B. The 9 samples came from so-called Yeti bones, fur, and other animal material. After rigorous testing, they all turned out to be bear parts, except for one, quote, Yeti tooth that actually belonged to a dog, according to the Washington Post.
Oh.
All the samples that were supposed to be Yetis matched brown and black bears that are living in the region, according to Lindqvist. So Yetis are not real.
Yeti could be a dog mixed with a bear.
It's a bear dog.
Bear dog.
Man, bear, pig.
Do you think they have a show there called Finding Yeti?
They should.
Like we
They
have
should.
Finding Bigfoot.
Yeah, and they never found him.
Yeah.
It's a very elusive man, bear, pig dog.
Man, bear, pig dog.
It's a bear dog. A bear. Yeah. That was just that. That was a dud. That was one of those news stories. It's like, yeah, this will be fun, and no, nothing. It's like This is the open mic of news stories, is what this is. You think it's going to be funny, and nothing. Get nothing at all from
That happens a lot.
I tell you. Yeah. Well, we'll do one more. We'll do one more Christmas story. A Santa working in a Toronto shopping center dealt with an angry adult rather than an ornery child this past weekend. A cell phone video posted online shows a woman in a gray and black dress yelling profanities at Santa on duty at the Dufferin Mall. She's saying, "Do you have a sleigh, you effing D-head?" Since I can't, do you have a sleigh? She can be heard yelling in the video. Calling Santa names is bad enough, but the woman took the next step by declaring the jolly old Saint Nick doesn't exist. "You're not magic. You're not even real. I heard about it when I was a kid," she yelled. "You're not real, man."
I heard about it when I was a kid.
When she was a kid, she learned that Santa was not real, and she had to go ruin Christmas for every kid.
So is she
at
the other guy?
Dufferin
That's
Mall.
the first guy's like wife.
I think so.
From
Yeah,
North Pole, Alaska?
they go to different areas. They travel separately to destroy Christmas. They're like the Grinch and his wife, Grinchette.
They're just Christmas protesters. They just show up
Yeah.
Well, not just Christmas
and
protests.
they get ran
Santa
over by
protesters.
sleighs.
Yeah, that's
They
what
won't get
happened.
out of the way.
That's what happened. The song Grandma got run over by a reindeer is actually a real story, and it was their mother. So they've spent their days seeking out mall Santas to berate.
You killed my mom. You're not even real.
Yep. Yep. Just wait till their other brother, Inigo Montoya, shows up.
Yeah.
"You killed my father. Prepare to die." So yeah, that's we've officially ruined Christmas, and it's not even
For a
here
bunch
yet.
of college kids.
For a bunch of college kids that still believe in Santa. I'm sure there are some.
One somewhere now beating himself in the head like he didn't know.
Yeah.
So stupid. I keep looking at this poster behind you for some reason. They look like Dayton comics that they were made into cartoon characters.
Yeah, they
Like-
kind of do. There's Scotty Mays.
Scotty Mays,
Yeah, obviously.
That right there,
That's-
that's
that's
Ed John.
Ed John.
Thug Ed John.
Titus,
What'd you call it?
Thug Ed John.
Thug Ed John, and then Adrian Miller. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Is that Titus
have-
on the far end? I
that's
guess
Titus when he had his long hair.
or it's Aaron Phillips on some kind of drug, like some kind of drug that
So in
made
other
him
words,
super gaunt.
just Aaron Phillips.
We need.
Yeah, but like deep into like a meth or a coke addiction.
Oh,
like that
okay,
guy
okay.
looks a lot.
No, it could be Colin.
Yeah, that's.
We need to take a picture of that and tag it on Facebook so people who might listen to this.
Tag all four of them.
Yeah. So like they hear this, they happen to listen to this, they were like, "What are they talking about?"
Yeah,
But that's totally Scotty Mays.
definitely. That's definitely Scotty. We got that one nailed. All right. So we'll go over one more time. You guys got any social media you want to plug? Anything you want to plug at all? Let's plug.
Friday night at Wiley's.
Friday night at
8
Wiley's is
o'clock.
going to be a comedy
$10
showcase with a lot of
online.
good comedies.
Follow me
A lot
on
of good
Tinder and
comics.
at Plenty of Fish.
And if you're brave,
No.
you can follow Travis
No.
Charles on dating sites.
Twitter, is that Travis Charles? I don't know. My YouTube channel's Travis Charles. Well, yeah, watch my videos. I get paid for my videos if you watch them.
Do you?
Yeah. Not a whole lot like I used to. Like it's dropped down quite considerably.
I
But-
didn't know you had videos.
Yeah.
You should promote those.
I've got like 2.5 million views altogether.
Really?
He does Travis talks.
I used to
apparently.
actually,
Like
I
a
used to
TED
actually,
Talk, but
I used to be pretty popular
mostly
with
about
YouTube.
fishing
Like,
stuff.
Really?
I was
What
number
happened?
one comedian in the UK for like 3 months in a row.
What happened?
Got divorced and then didn't want to make videos anymore for a while.
I would think getting divorced would help
Yeah.
your comedy.
And by UK, he means Upper Kentucky. It's not the UK you're thinking of.
Good call.
You got me.
Yeah.
My whole
All right.
life's a lie.
Yeah, we know. All right. Well, that's enough. Well, Joe, Travis, thanks for coming in. It's always good to
Yep,
see you
thanks
guys.
for having
have a
us
laugh.
again. I don't know why
And-
you keep doing it.
Oh yeah. We'll probably keep doing something here, I reckon.
See you in April.
So yeah, yeah. Well, we might see Travis again some other time. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, both of you, and we'll probably won't be listening next week, will you? But I'll still be here. So we'll see you then. Thanks for listening to the Life Podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment's Podcast Network. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can always stream the show live at wwsu1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email us at thelife1069@gmail.com.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
The entire Patriots team right there. Bunch of dildos.